One of the big subjects for debate in the US at the moment is whether the Federal Reserve is going to engage in further quantitative easing. Now, in simple terms, quantitative easing is what a central bank does when they've slashed their cash rate to zero and they need to carry out other measures to try and get interest rates down to lower levels. They do this by buying other assets such as government bonds. Now, the Fed and the Bank of England did this during the depths of the global financial crisis, and the Bank of Japan's done it as well. And with the US going into a little bit of a soft patch, the debate has returned as to whether that's going to take place. Now, there's a number of Fed speakers out overnight, and it seems a little bit mixed within the Fed as to whether this is going to be necessary or not. Now, one of the things we're seeing that's hand in hand with this sort of chatter is the US dollar's been very weak, and that's seen the New Zealand dollar rise. We're up around 73 cents at the moment, and we're thinking we could go even higher against that weak US dollar in the coming months. In contrast, against the Australian dollar, we're very weak. The IMF were out recently saying that the Australian dollar looks a little bit overvalued. It's up around 96 cents against the US dollar, and that's seeing us at very weak levels on our cross rate. We dipped below 76 cents against the Aussie dollar yesterday. We're just north of that figure now. In terms of data, we had our own trade figures out yesterday. It was a deficit for the month, but we remain in surplus for the full year, and exports are up just under 15% on year-ago levels, which is pleasing. We're seeing evidence of the good recovery we've had over the last year in commodity prices, but disappointingly, meat volumes are down on year-ago levels. One of the features of our exports improving over the last year has been the strong performance out of Asia. We had a number of measures which showed the conditions in Asia remain reasonable. We had the Tankan survey, which is a Japanese confidence survey, and that was reasonable. And we also had some good Chinese data. And that's important for us. That's where a lot of our exports are going, and it's pleasing to see ongoing strength in these economies. We've got a bit of data to look forward to here in New Zealand today. We've got our own building consents figures. Now, they're for August, so we won't see an earthquake effect in that data yet, but we'll be interested to see over the coming months how the Canterbury earthquake affects the building outlook and the housing market in general. We do get National Bank's Business Outlook survey, though, and that will capture the mood, including the earthquake. So those will be interesting barometers of the health of the local economy. Offshore, we get US GDP out tonight, and that'll be the main thing we're looking for in offshore markets.